What if I told you some of TV's biggest stars couldn't act, couldn't sing, and definitely couldn't remember their lines? Well, that's because they were trucks. Yep, big, loud, gas-guzzling pickup trucks that stole scenes, carried heroes, and sometimes had more personality than the people driving them. Think about it. When you picture Walker, Texas Ranger, can you really separate Chuck Norris from his rugged Dodge Ram? Or when you remember the Dukes of Hazzard, is Uncle Jesse's trusty Ford F-100 any less legendary than the General Lee? And let's not forget the Clampetts rolling into Beverly Hills with their beat-up jalopy stacked high with furniture and family. From demon hunters and stuntmen to junk dealers and outlaws, these trucks weren't just background props. They were symbols of toughness, resourcefulness, and rebellion. They told us as much about the characters who drove them as the scripts ever did, so buckle up. Because today, we're counting down 15 of the most iconic pickup trucks from television history. And trust me, by the end, you'll see why these rides deserve a spot right alongside TV's biggest legends. And hey, if you love TV nostalgia as much as we do, hit that subscribe button and join us for more badass ride throwbacks every week. When it comes to TV trucks with personalities, few have left a mark quite like the black 1981 GMC Sierra Grande from Supernatural. This wasn't just a vehicle, it was John Winchester's silent partner in crime, or should I say, in demon hunting. Rugged, no-nonsense, and slightly menacing, the Sierra Grande was customized with a secret storage area for every weapon imaginable. Knives, guns, holy water, you name it, it had a place. Its glossy black paint and classic square body made it instantly recognizable, but what really set it apart was how it mirrored John himself. Dependable, tough, and unafraid to get a little dirty when the job called for it. Fans didn't just watch Supernatural, they remembered that truck. It became almost like a calling card for their dad, silent, reliable, and always ready to face danger head-on. But that wasn't the whole story. Long before the Winchesters roared onto the scene, other TV families were making their pickups unforgettable in entirely different ways. Decades before Demon Hunters, another pickup earned its place in TV history, Uncle Jesse's 1973 Ford F-100 from the Dukes of Hazzard. This wasn't a polished, showroom truck, it was scrappy, dependable, and packed with character, just like its driver. The white F-100 spent more time covered in dust and mud than on smooth roads, and somehow, that made it unforgettable. It wasn't just a farm truck, it was part of the action. From hauling goods around the Duke farm to taking part in high-flying stunts and occasional jumps, the F-100 became a symbol of the show's southern charm and rebellious spirit. Every dent, every scratch told a story, and viewers couldn't help but root for it as much as for the Dukes themselves. And speaking of rugged, unstoppable vehicles, no TV pickup embodied toughness quite like the one driven by a certain Texas Ranger. Few trucks screamed toughness like the ones that carried Cordell Walker across the Texas plains. In the early seasons of Walker, Texas Ranger, he rolled in a modified GMC 1500 stepside, sturdy, reliable, and built to handle anything that came his way. It fit the lawman perfectly, no nonsense, rugged, and always ready for action. As the series progressed, Walker upgraded to a lifted Dodge Ram 1500. This wasn't just a truck, it was an extension of his persona. The larger frame, beefy tires, and commanding presence made it instantly clear that trouble didn't stand a chance. Chase scenes, off-road adventures, and daring rescues all felt more intense with the Ram at the center of the action. Fans didn't just see a truck, they saw Walker's unwavering toughness on four wheels. But while the Ranger's rides were about power and intimidation, some trucks became legends through pure comedic charm. Take, for example, a certain family that moved from the Ozarks to Beverly Hills. Not every iconic TV truck was built for speed or intimidation. Some earned their fame by sheer personality, and no vehicle embodies that better than the Clampetts' 1921 Oldsmobile Model 46. Affectionately dubbed the Clampett Jalopy, this wasn't a polished machine, it was a patchwork marvel, modified to carry an entire family, their furniture, and a lifetime of Ozark charm straight into Beverly Hills. Every squeak, rattle, and puff of smoke made it unforgettable. Viewers didn't just watch the Clampetts drive, they felt the journey. The jalopy wasn't about horsepower or off-road prowess. It was about character, comedy, and a heartwarming kind of chaos. It reminded audiences that sometimes the vehicle tells the story as much as the people inside it. And speaking of vehicles that carried their own kind of story, the Sanfords had a pickup that perfectly mirrored their daily grind. If comedy had his signature truck, it would be Fred and Lamont Sanford's rusty red 1951 Ford F1. This pickup wasn't sleek, shiny, or intimidating. It was a workhorse overloaded with junk, creaking under the weight of the Sanfords' thriving junk business. Every drive was an adventure, and every dent or scratch felt like a badge of honor. The F1 became more than a utility vehicle. It became a symbol of resilience and humor. Watching it struggle up hills, barely hold together during deliveries, or bounce along the streets of Los Angeles made it impossible not to root for both the truck and its owners. It wasn't flashy, but it was unforgettable, just like the show itself. But while the Sanford truck represented hard work and humor, some pickups had to carry a different kind of weight, solving crimes and handling heavy-duty tasks, like the one in the Rockford Files. Jim Rockford was known for his sleek Firebird, but when cases got heavy or required a bit more muscle, he relied on his father's 1976 GMC K1500 Sierra Classic. This truck wasn't just a practical choice. It symbolized reliability and strength, ready to haul equipment, evidence, or anything else a private investigator might need. Its classic design and rugged build made it stand out in a show filled with chases and investigations. While it didn't steal scenes with daring jumps or flashy stunts, the Sierra Classic quietly reinforced the idea that sometimes a dependable truck is just as heroic as the person behind the wheel. Not every truck in Supernatural was a friend to the Winchester brothers. In Season 1's episode Route 666, the show introduced one of its creepiest villains, a 1963 Dodge D200 pickup possessed by the vengeful spirit of a murdered man. This wasn't just a vehicle, it was a supernatural weapon, hunting down its victims with unstoppable force. The Dodge D200 wasn't flashy or polished. In fact, its old, weathered look made it even more chilling, especially when its headlights cut through the darkness just before it struck. Unlike most TV trucks that symbolize toughness or reliability, this one embodied pure menace. Fans still remember the terrifying sight of the possessed pickup barreling down lonely roads, proving that in the world of Supernatural, even a simple work truck could become a nightmare on wheels. Colt Seavers wasn't just a stuntman, he was a hero on and off the screen, and he needed a truck that could keep up. Enter the 1980-82 GMC K2500, a lifted powerhouse with a roll bar and a striking eagle mural on the hood. This wasn't a subtle pickup, it was built for attention, drama, and daredevil action. Whether barreling through rough terrain or taking part in death-defying stunts, the K2500 proved it could handle anything Colt threw at it, literally. Its bold design and rugged build made it as iconic as the stunts themselves, and audiences quickly learned that in The Fall Guy, the truck wasn't just transportation. It was part of the action, a co-star in every daring scene. But while stuntmen needed flair, private investigators required a different kind of toughness. Enter the Dodge Macho Power Wagon from Simon & Simon. Private investigator Rick Simon didn't need flashy stunts. He needed grit, durability, and a truck that could get him through any investigation. That's exactly what his 1979 Dodge Macho Power Wagon delivered. With its distinctive paint job, front push bar, and auxiliary lights, it wasn't just a vehicle. It was an extension of Rick's resourceful, determined personality. Whether navigating city streets or rougher terrain, the Power Wagon embodied the kind of toughness that private eyes need. It wasn't the fastest or the flashiest, but every dent, scratch, and muddy tire spoke to countless nights of chasing leads and solving cases. The truck quietly became a symbol of persistence and ingenuity, the unsung hero behind Rick Simon's success. In the late 70s, few TV trucks turned heads quite like B.J. McKay's 1979 Dodge Lil Red Express from B.J. and the Bear. With its bright red paint, gold lettering, and chrome exhaust stacks rising behind the cab, this pickup wasn't built to blend in, it was built to shine. And just like BJ himself, it had personality to spare. The Lil Red Express wasn't just eye candy. Under the hood, it packed serious power, making it one of the fastest pickups of its era, perfect for a trucker who always seemed to find trouble on the road. Whether BJ was outsmarting lawman, hauling goods, or cruising with his mischievous chimpanzee sidekick, the truck was right there in the action, a rolling statement of confidence and flair. It proved that sometimes a truck doesn't have to be subtle or practical to be iconic. Sometimes, all it takes is bold style and big attitude to steal the spotlight. In the 1996 blockbuster Twister, the trucks weren't just transportation, they were lifelines. The 1995 Dodge Ram 2500 carried storm chasers into the heart of tornadoes, braving storms and debris that would make most vehicles crumble. Its sturdy frame and powerful engine made it the perfect choice for navigating destruction while keeping its passengers safe. Every close call and daring maneuver showcased the Ram's toughness and reliability. It wasn't just a truck on screen. It was a character in its own right, delivering tension, excitement, and a sense of unstoppable determination. For fans, it became impossible to separate the drama from the machine that made it all possible. And sometimes, trucks weren't just brave companions, they became the threat themselves. That's exactly what happened in the 1997 TV horror movie Trucks. Autonomous trucks turned on their human owners, creating chaos and fear at every turn. The pickups themselves were terrifying, combining sheer size, power, and unpredictability into a force that no one could control. Unlike other TV trucks, these pickups weren't just memorable, they were menacing. Every rumble, screech, and unstoppable advance reminded viewers that sometimes the truck isn't your friend, it's your adversary. The film left a lasting impression, proving that even something as familiar as a pickup could become a star in a very different, chilling way. But while horror trucks hunted their victims, other cinematic vehicles inspired freedom, rebellion, and unforgettable road adventures, like the legendary convoy from the 1978 film Convoy. Before trucks became cinematic villains or action heroes, they were symbols of rebellion. The 1978 film Convoy, based on the famous country song, showcased a fleet of iconic rigs that dominated the highways. These weren't just vehicles, they were rolling statements representing freedom, defiance, and the unbreakable bond between drivers on the open road. Each truck had its own character, from custom paint jobs to massive chrome grills, and together they created a sense of unstoppable momentum. Viewers didn't just watch a convoy, they felt the roar of engines, the camaraderie of the drivers, and the thrill of a rebellion that couldn't be stopped. The film left an enduring mark, making these trucks legends long after the credits rolled. When it comes to trucks that defy the odds, few have a story as legendary as the Toyota Hilux featured on Top Gear. In a memorable series of episodes, Jeremy Clarkson and his team subjected a red 1988 Hilux to a barrage of extreme tests to prove Toyota's claim of its indestructibility. They drove it through a collapsing building, set it on fire, drowned it in the sea, and even dropped a caravan on it from a great height. Miraculously, the Hilux continued to run, earning it the nickname the Indestructible Hilux. This truck wasn't just a vehicle. It was a testament to engineering excellence and resilience. Its ability to withstand such extreme conditions made it a symbol of toughness and reliability, qualities that resonated with audiences worldwide. They carried heroes into danger, hauled families across the country, helped solve crimes, and even became the villains in their own stories. Each truck reflected the personality of its driver, the tone of its show, and the imagination of its audience. So the next time you watch a classic TV show, pay attention to the wheels that carry the action. Because these trucks weren't just props, they were stars, unforgettable co-stars whose engines roared just as loudly as the lines on the script. Now the real question is, which one of these iconic pickups would you choose to ride into your own adventure?